Hello and welcome back. In the previous video, we understood MCP and how it connects Co-work to external tools. Now, we are going to make that practical. In this video, we will connect Co-work with real productivity tools like Notion, Slack, and Airtable and see how to build workflows across them. Let's start with the big picture. Co-work supports many connectors, and in this video, we will focus on a few key ones like Notion, Slack, and Airtable. But before that, let's understand what connectors actually are. Connectors in Co-work are MCP-based integrations that allow Co-work to connect with external applications. This means Co-work is not limited to your local files. It can directly access, read, and act on data inside tools like Gmail, Notion, or Slack. So, instead of behaving like a chatbot, it starts functioning like an actual AI coworker that can work across systems. And that's the key shift from single-task interactions to connected workflows. Before we start using Notion, we first need to connect it to Co-work. Go to Settings and open the Connectors section and select Notion. You will authenticate using your account and grant permissions. This allows Co-work to access your workspace. For advanced use cases, you can also connect Notion using its API. Once this setup is done, Co-work can start interacting with your Notion data. Now that Notion is connected, let's see what Co-work can actually do. It can read from databases, create new pages, update properties, and append content to existing documents. So, instead of manually managing your workspace, Co-work can directly interact with your Notion data and automate these operations. Before running workflows with Notion, it helps to prepare the setup properly. First, create a clean folder structure. For example, one folder for active work and another for reference material. This makes it easier to control what Co-work reads or edits. Second, add clear project instructions that explain how your Notion database is structured. The better Co-work understands your schema, the more accurate the results will be. And if you need a more advanced setup, you can also use the Notion API directly by creating an integration secret and managing access through Notion's integration settings. Now that setup is clean, let's see the workflow in action. Co-work reads the roadmap, finds the blocked items, and turns that into a structured summary you can use immediately. Co-work reads the roadmap, finds the blocked items, and turns that into a structured summary so you can use immediately. So first, let's see how to connect Notion to our Claude Co-work. You have to go to the Claude app. Once you have opened the Claude app, go to the Customize section. Over here, you'll see the connectors. Go to that and you have to select the Notion one. I've already connected my Notion to the Claude Co-work. Over here, you can also configure the tool permission settings, like whether to allow these kind of things or not, like read-only tools, Notion Fetch, Notion Get Comments, Notion Get Teams. You can also customize these things. We have three options: always allow, needs approval, or blocked. After this part is done, we will move to our hands-on section. Before we start, I want to set expectations clearly. Most demos you have seen so far probably look like this. You already have a Notion workspace, you already have a database, you already have data, and then AI just helps a little bit. What we are going to do is very different. We are starting from zero. No pages, no tables, no data, nothing. I'm not going to click around in Notion. I'm not going to create fields manually. I'm not going to paste any data. Everything you are about to see will be created entirely by AI inside Notion. By the end of this demo, we will have a structured workspace, a working task system, realistic project data, insights generated from that data, and actual updates made to the system. Think of this as onboarding a new team member, except that team member is AI. Once Notion is connected to our Claude Co-work, we will run a prompt where it will help us to create the system. So let's go to our Claude app. I'll create a separate project. I'll give it a name, Notion Workspace. And over here, I'll add my first instruction. Create a structured workspace in Notion. Create a page title, Project Ops Hub. Inside it, create a database called tasks with the following properties: task name, status, owner, priority, and blocker reason. Add 8 realistic tasks with a mix of statuses. At least 3 should be marked as blocked. Include meaningful blocker reasons. Make it look like a real working project setup. This is only for our demo purpose. So let's see. Notice what I'm doing here. I'm not giving step-by-step UI instructions. I'm describing the structure, the logic, the intent. AI understands systems, not just commands. Over here, you can see the connectors, and you'll see that the Notion toggle has been turned on. see over here, since I wanted to create a new page, it is asking for my permission. So I'll allow once. Over here, let's see the task list. Creating the project ops hub page in Notion, creating the task database with required properties, adding 8 realistic tasks with mixed statuses, and then verifying the workspace structure and shared links. So I'll allow it again. You can see that the Project Ops Hub page has been created. It is showing the status as completed. After that, the task database with required properties has also been completed. And the 8 realistic tasks with mixed status is in progress. So you can see all the tasks that have been completed and some of them are pending. Let's actually slow down and look at what is happening. A page was created, Project Ops Hub. Inside that, a database was created. Fields were definitely correct. Statuses are structured and data was populated. Over here, it has also given us the hyperlink to that particular page with the database and all the tasks. If you want, you can just click on one of them and go to the direct link. Think about what you would normally do. Create table, add columns, define options, and enter rows. That entire setup phase just disappeared. This is not just faster execution. This is removal of setup overhead. How many of you delay creating systems because setup feels like work? That friction is now gone. So let's look at the results it created on the Notion interface. You can see on my screen how it not only created the Project Ops Hub page, but also listed the task in a very definite manner. It has all the properties, the task name, the blocker reason, owner, priority with the statuses. So let's iterate it further. Now we are going to use the same system, but for a completely different purpose. Here, I will basically ask, go to the task database, identify all tasks where status is equal to blocked, then analyze the total number of blocked tasks, common blocker reasons, any pattern across owners or priorities, then write a concise internal update summarizing key issues. Up until now, AI was acting like a builder. Now, it is going to act like an analyst. So, over here, you can see on my screen how it is asking for the permission again. You can configure these settings by going to the connector section. Let's allow for this task. You can see the weekly update. Look closely at the output. It counted how many tasks, grouped the reasons. It did not just repeat data, it interpreted it in a comparison table manner. Dashboard show data. AI explains it. You can see on my screen how it analyzes all the patterns worth flagging. All the blockers are cross-functional dependencies. This is a coordination problem, not a capacity one. No single owner is a bottleneck since each block task sits with a different DRI. High priority is disproportionately affected with 2 of 3 high items stalled. Over here, you can go to the Project Ops Hub and see the data by yourself. Let's go a little deeper. If you had to do this manually, you would filter, scan rows, identify patterns mentally, write an update. That cognitive load is now offloaded. What part of your job feels like this? Mostly reporting, tracking, and etc. That's exactly what AI replaces first. Repetitive thinking. Now, we'll ask the AI to take action inside the Notion. I'll ask it from the block task, update each block task by adding a note inside the page. Summarize the blocker clearly, suggest a next step. For high priority block tasks, clearly mark them as needs immediate attention. Then keep updates clean and structured. This is the most important part of the demo. Most AI demos stop at insights, but real work does not stop at insights. It moves to action. Over here, you can see the progress task list it has created, and it is doing all the tasks one by one. Now, look at what happened. It opened individual task entries. It added contextual notes. It suggested next steps. It flagged urgency. This is not just analysis. This is execution inside the tool. Think of a project manager. Reviews, blockers, add notes, assigns urgency. That's exactly what just happened. We started with absolutely nothing. No workspace, no database, no task. In a few prompts, we now have a structured system, realistic working data, insights from that data, and actions applied to that data. AI did not assess workflow, created and ran the workflow. Going forward, the skill is not learning every tool deeply, The skill is learning how to describe systems clearly. If you can describe the system, AI can build and operate it. Now, let's continue with our concepts. Just like Notion, we have another connector called Slack. Before using Slack, you need to connect it through the connector section. Authenticate your Slack workspace and grant access to relevant channels. You can also control permissions depending on whether you want to read-only or full automation. Now, let's move to Slack. With Slack connected, Co-work can send messages, read channel history, and post formatted updates. It can also trigger notifications based on workflows. So, Slack becomes your communication layer, where outputs from workflows are shared automatically. For Slack, structure matters. Use dedicated channels for workflows and keep outputs formatted and consistent. Also, be mindful of permissions, like we did for Notion. Not every workflow needs write access. Another connector example we have is Airtable. To connect Airtable, go to the connectors section again and authenticate your account. You can control which bases Co-work can access. For advanced setups, you can also use API keys. Think of Airtable as a structured database layer inside your workflow. Co-work can read records, create new rows, update fields, and trigger actions based on data. What makes this useful is the way it works. Co-work reads Airtable as structured data, understands the fields, records, and then uses the connector to send updates back to the base. That means it can check row values, decide what needs to change, and even trigger updates when new data or files come in. So, Airtable becomes both a storage layer and an action layer for automation. Airtable works best when the setup is clean and intentional. Start by defining clear field names and keeping the schema consistent, because that helps Co-work understand the structure of your data correctly. It is also important to keep records clean and avoid duplicate or messy entries, since poor data quality can lead to unreliable automation. And if you are planning trigger-based workflows, make sure the table design matches the actual use case. So the better your Airtable setup is, the more reliably Co-work can read, update, and automate across it. Now, let's combine everything. We did a hands-on experiment on Notion, where Co-work reads the data from Notion, processes insights. You can also experiment with different connectors like Slack, Airtable, like we discussed in our previous slides. All of this happens from a single prompt. You can also do multiple iterations. So instead of switching between tools, you are orchestrating them together. Once you understand the pattern, you can build many different workflows. For example, you can track projects, automate customer support, manage sales pipeline, or even run content workflows. Each workflow simply connects tools like Notion, Slack, Airtable, or others, depending on what you need. So the real power is not in one workflow. It is in the ability to design your own. To make this work well, your prompt needs structure. You should clearly define each step: what to read, what to analyze, what to send, and what to store. Also specify the tools and outputs at each stage. So think in terms of a sequence: read, analyze, notify, and then store. Now, a few best practices. Start simple. Use 2 or 3 tools per workflow. Keep your steps clear and ordered. Avoid unnecessary complexity and always validate outputs between steps, because clean workflows are more reliable. Let's quickly recap. MCP enables Co-work to connect with external tools. Notion, Slack, and Airtable form a powerful ecosystem. A simple prompt can trigger multi-step workflows, and clear prompt leads to better execution. So, the key idea is simple. Co-work becomes a workflow engine when connected to tools. That's it for this video. Now you know how to connect Co-work to real tools and build multi-step workflows. In the next video, we will take this even further into advanced automation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.